All right, so this video is going to be FBM and why it's going to be crucial for you to know how to do this properly and when to use it during Q4. So rather than a crash course or something else, I'm just going to sit on here and talk. So we'll just jump right in, and I'm going to take some of my thoughts about FBM and just talk about it. So let's see, where should we start? So you're already familiar with Amazon FBA. You know a lot about it. FBA receiving times, or as the year goes on, as it gets closer to Christmas time, more and more people are going to be sending more and more stuff FBA. And all that's going to do is cram up the FBA's receiving times process. And truthfully, you don't really want to get in the mix of that unless you're sending a pallet of stuff or it's wholesale. Even then, I know people that have sent pallets of inventory in December and they don't fully receive until like February, just because of all the mass amount of products getting sent to FBA during the holiday season. You gotta think about this. As of October 19th, 2024, the population of the United States is 345 million people. Almost 346 million people in the United States. So, Amazon.com today announced financial results for its fourth quarter ended December 31st, 2023. So that's from October 1st to December 31st of 2023, 2 years ago, about to be a year ago. $170 billion in sales in 3 months. October, November, December. 3 months. So that is just a huge increase in sales. And think about it, December is only 3 or 4 weeks long. To send your inventory FBA, it has to get shipped there. UPS is crammed up to shipping is already going to take longer. Then getting delivered and then getting to where it's about to get received is going to take longer. And then getting it on the shelves, and then it finally becoming active, that right there might take, if you're lucky during Q4, 2 weeks. That right there is half of December already. And then you have to sell out your inventory. That already is going to take time as well. And honestly, as I say this, all of December, you do not want to be doing FBA. You want to be doing FBM for a number of reasons. One of the main primary reasons why FBM is so good is because you recoup your money faster. The second that you buy the shipping label for the FBM order, that money gets put right into your payout to get paid out at your next payout date. Versus Amazon, you buy your product, you have to wait for it to ship to you, versus FBM, as soon as it gets to you, you can list the item and it can sell that day and you can get that money into your payout. You have to package it up, ship it, get to Amazon, get received, and then sell. And then when they buy the shipping, it then charges the customer. It charges the customer when they grab your item, scan it, and they go to box it up. They charge the customer's card at that point. The money doesn't come to your payout, though, until a couple days later. It doesn't turn over to your payout, I believe, until after the product gets delivered to the customer. And in Q4, what is going to hold you back from profiting or from essentially selling enough is not going to be your ability to find leads. It's going to be how much money you have in your bank account. There are more leads and more things moving during the holidays that you are going to, I promise you, most likely drain your bank account, and you're going to be cut off at the point of what your buying power is, not what the amount of leads there are out there. That's why Amazon is such a great thing, is because there are more leads out there, more profitable flips, online arbitrage, wholesale, circulating supply of books out there than anybody can even buy. You're going to get cut off by your buying power, not the saturated market. There's more out there than you, me, everybody in the community can even buy. So there's there's ultimately no really reason to gatekeep, which is why I've built such an open and free free open community with no gate-kept information, because there's more profitable products and leads out there in such an unsaturated market, which is why there's no need to gatekeep information here. Versus as opposed to drop shipping, well, that certainly can become saturated, right? There's not a saturated supply of products because it's getting manufactured in China. They can just put that shit on a conveyor belt and manufacture it. But the amount of people running ads, the people getting on a trend, can certainly get saturated. There's no saturation out there for Amazon FBA. That's why this is a much better business model, and probably the best business model to start in 2024. Excuse me, I'm gonna check this, make sure it's... Sorry about this, guys. You gotta bear with me. This is the struggle of just trying to do everything yourself. But just bear with me, because there's a lot of value here. Alright, so sorry that the camera was looking a little saturated there. It's a struggle of having to do this all on your own. I'm still trying to provide you guys with as much value as possible while balling on a budget. So we left off at how there is a completely unsaturated market out there, and you are going to get cut off by your buying power, okay? By how much money you have recouped to buy inventory with. And another thing that's crucial about Q4 is you only have a select amount of time to sell as much as you can, make as many good investments, and make as much profit as you possibly can. And one thing that FBM gives you the flexibility to do is go return items from online arbitrage, from retail stores that you're buying from, Target, Walmart, everything. You can go return things. If you send FBA, and God forbid, because it's a business, things go wrong, listings get taken down, you may get regated. FBA is just such a pain. FBA is a model you want to do if you are locked in and you know your product is good to sell. Specifically, say like wholesale, where you're working with a legit supplier. You know it's coming from the brand directly. You can get invoicing if Amazon needs it to prove where it's coming from. It is legit. Everything you need. Because once you send it to Amazon, if you get regated, if anything goes wrong, listing changes, price drops, anything, if you want to get that inventory back to go return it, be aware that Amazon charges $4 to ship it back to you for a removal fee. And that sucks. That really sucks. So you got to know that they will charge you $4 per unit to ship it back to you, because they don't just get shipping for free. They're running a business too. And if you're only buying on listings that are good for FBM, you can get your money quicker. You can avoid removal fees if something goes wrong, and you can get that money back real quickly. And you know, with Amazon's payouts, you can request a payment every 24 hours. It will not be the full amount because it slowly kind of builds up, and then they release the funds every 2 weeks. But you can request payment every 24 hours from Amazon, and then it will be in your account 24 hours later. And you can be doing that if you're running, buying your products off of a debit, not a credit, or if you have your credit cards maxed out. I would not recommend ever buying more stuff than you can pay your credit card off with. Do not do that. That's where you run into problems. That's how you will completely screw up your credit score. And at the end of the day, your credit limit is what's going to help your business scale. And if you're buying more with your credit than you can pay off, and something goes wrong and you have to make a late payment, well, then your credit limit is going to potentially get lowered or delay the rate when it will get raised. Just don't do that. Do not try to rush your business. You know, people in the community are trying to ask, like, how can I get a quicker credit score? How can I get a bigger credit limit? And I always advise people, don't try to get someone to help you get a larger credit limit and buy more than you know what you're doing. if you try to rush your business, things are going to go wrong and you might very well put yourself out of business. I ran my Amazon business for a whole entire year without ever having a credit card. I grew it all from cash. I started really small. First month doing products, I crossed 10K. Second month I did 20. I slowly scaled up. Then I finally, forged an LLC, created an LLC, then created a month later the business bank account. Then I had my business card, and then I started doing all my payments through my business debit card. And then after about a year, I opened my first credit card, got a 5K credit limit. That's great, but there's really no point in that unless you're going to actually have a large credit limit to really help you buy all the inventory and then pay down your credit card. But if you buy more or buy your whole credit limit and don't have enough to pay it off, well, then you're really walking on a tightrope and fully reliant on that inventory that you just bought to sell, and then you can pay it back, which Amazon is really a month-to-month thing. Not all of your inventory is going to sell in 1 month. So don't jump the gun. Just do not rush. Do not rush growing your business. And I do recommend FBM as a really good tactic to know how to do properly, know what kind of listings to look out for. Helps you get your money back quicker. You avoid the risks of FBA, getting all your inventory tied up there. With the horrible mess going on with Section 3s right now, if you send a bunch of inventory to FBA and for some reason you get a Section 3 claim, you get your account locked up. You also get all your payments locked up. Amazon will not pay you out. They will withhold all of your inventory. You will not get reimbursed for that if you cannot provide them with a good invoice or something. People are getting attorneys involved. FBA is a really risky model, but just like anything with risk that I tell you guys, you can completely avoid risk by educating yourself and not trying to cut corners and just doing things the right way, right? Just like everything in life, if you do things the right way, you will not run into problems. So that's me talking about FBM, comparing FBM, FBA a little bit. Now we'll dive in and kind of look at what some good FBM listings look like. All right, so I made a pretty good, I'm really happy with, the progress that I made during Halloween. I got on a lot of really good costume leads, and I feel like I did a good job of really buying out the inventory. Because if you're doing FBM, you can really control the listings if you have enough buying power, because there's only so much supply from the retail stores, and if you can buy all that supply out before 50 other sellers get a bit of that inventory, okay, well, you have all the inventory now. You're now going to be eluding yourself of the listing having 50 people on it, and because you bought so much before other people did, and you're able to know it's a good listing, well, you can, mitigate that listing. You can kind of control it. You can have, as always, the number one rule, if you have more inventory than everyone, you can dominate the buy box, and you're going to be eluding the listing getting saturated with a bunch of sellers. I saw a bunch of these listings as killer. I saw everyone was doing FBM on the listing to begin with. I bought these listings out every single day, paid off my credit card, bought more, because I knew these were going to be good, and I knew they were going to be good leading up. Today is October 20th. We still have 10 more days till Halloween. I still have a decent amount of inventory left, and I'm expecting to be getting a lot of next day shipping, expedited shipping, where these customers are paying $25, $30 to get their product the next day, and I'm only paying $5 for the listing. So I'm profiting $40 an order, and those are going to start to come. They've already been coming a good amount, and I'm expecting and really hoping to see them get there. An increased lift in those next day expedited shipping in the next 10 days to come. But anyways, let's look at what we've seen here. At the time, everybody was on here doing FBM, right? That's a good listing to be on, is if everyone is FBMing on there, and you can have yourself some sort of advantage to getting the buy box, FBM. We do know everybody, or Amazon, pushes FBA listings more than FBM listings. If everyone is FBMing, there's a good bet that you will get some sales too, FBM obviously. But you don't want to get on FBM if the listing is saturated with more than 15 sellers. If you start getting up in that 21, 22 mark and plus, you're just probably not going to get sales, because I think one thing that I've understood over time is with FBM buy box, it kind of comes down to who's been on the listing, one, the longest, and two, who's been able to hold stock the longest, meaning sell their inventory and replenish it. Amazon respects those sellers because I feel like it's kind of a first come, first serve. At the end of the day, we're all trying to guess what the algorithm is. We don't know. You kind of build a relationship with it, and you can just get a feeling if it's going to sell or not. And it's something you are going to build your own relationship with over time as you sell on Amazon more. You're going to buy things. You're going to try to sell them. If they sit, you go return them. That's the beautiful thing. You can go return them. And you'll slowly build your relationship with Amazon, with the buy box, and you'll slowly get a feeling of what will sell, because it's a beautiful day. There's no risk. You can go return this stuff, as opposed to cannot get a refund on ad spend with drop shipping. You cannot get a refund with options if you try to trade an option in the stock market. You can go return these FBA products though, so it's a low risk model, which is a beautiful thing. So this is why this is a good listing. We're seeing 11 offers. We're seeing a lot of FBM offers. We are seeing that the price has been consistent. We're seeing, or 3-month range, we're seeing a drop in the sales range because we're getting very close to Halloween. We're seeing buy box statistic should be evenly spread out. We're seeing pretty evenly spread out sales rank. Nobody killing too much. Nobody getting up there close to that 40, 50% domination mark. Amazon's not dominating. And we are seeing decent sales. We're seeing a good amount of sales on this listing and on this listing. So we got demand for the product. We're doing a couple hundred units a month. This probably isn't even properly calculated yet, because it kind of takes a minute to calculate what the actual sales coming through the listing are for it to calibrate, and you can only do that based on history. I bet you when Halloween passes, this listing will most likely say it probably was doing 2,000 units a month, because it's probably going to sell 2,000 units per size of this one thing a month. Maybe even more. But this is a good listing because we got demand, we got low competition with the number of sellers on it, and we're profiting. I'm getting this thing for $19. If I were to be selling it for $31.64, I'd be making $3.89, doing a 20% ROI. And FBM, that's what we're making there. If we were to FBA this, wouldn't be making as much. That's another pro. You make more when you're doing FBM because you're not paying for the Amazon fulfillment fee. You're not paying them to pay their customers for the pick and pack fee, because you're doing that work. You're making more, you're getting your money back quicker, and you're taking on less risk because you can go return the item if something goes wrong. FBM is a super, super great play. It is, a method that could be used with a 3PL if you want to use a 3PL. If you want to buy more, then you can pack yourself. You don't want to hire employees. You don't want to have a warehouse. If you don't have space for it, you can use a 3PL with this. And it works great. Low risk, get your money back quicker, and you're making more at the end of the day FBMing. All you have to do is just know how to scout what a good FBM listing is, which is you want there to be a confirmed demand for the listing, at least 100 units plus a month. Low competition, so less than 20 sellers on the listing. Everyone or most of primarily being FBM sellers or people higher up on the spread out buy box win percentage. People winning are FBM sellers as well, a clear indicator that FBM sellers are also getting it. And an evenly spread out buy box. That's really all you need to pick out a good listing to FBM. And like I said, over time you'll build a relationship with it. You can just return the items if they don't sell. So make sure you're doing your part this Q4. Make sure you're putting in effort, trying new things, and making the most of Q4. And to make the most of Q4, you're gonna have to know how to FBM. It's gonna be a crucial business model, and probably something you will love to do more than FBA, just because you don't have to take the risk of FBAing it. You're making more, and you're getting your money back quicker. So now, after you watch this video, please go, if you're planning to go do FBM, please go look at the channel, FBM shiplet template, and update your shipping template so that you are going to be making profit on those next day shipping, expedite shipping, second day shipping that customers are going to be paying. Copy my template, get that set in stone so that when those come through, you'll be profiting $30, $40 an order and making the most of Q4. Thanks for watching this all the way through, and let's keep progress up there.